What's next? Iraqi Prime Minister Mustafa al-Kadhimi is meeting with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in Saudi Arabia as part of an effort to mediate between Riyadh and Tehran. We've mentioned this before. Saudi Arabia and Iran have had no diplomatic relations since 2016, and Antifat Kanbar is with us from Washington, D.C., president of Future Foundation. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Now, this is an ongoing effort by the Iraqi government. What's in it for them?
Look, this is not the first time that Iraq plays as a mediator between Saudi Arabia and Iran. But to be honest with you, this mediation has resulted in nothing. First of all, Iraq is not a neutral country between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Iraq today is the backyard of Iranian regime. Unfortunately, I have to say that. The visit of Mustafa al-Kadhimi to Saudi Arabia followed immediately by a few hours of Kadhimi landing in Tehran, and under the title of this mediation. If we follow the events carefully, a few days ago, the head of the most notorious terror group in Iraq, a Shia militia called AAH, Qais al-Khazali, threatened Kadhimi not to attend the big meeting in the middle of July, that he will be faced by court for anti-normalization law with Israel. So I think Mustafa al-Kadhimi trying to do this as a way to legitimize his contacts with Saudi Arabia. We know that Saudi Arabia and the meeting in Baghdad between Iran and Saudi Arabia will not stop Iranian hegemony and expansionist intentions. We know that Iran is unstoppable, and the only way to stop Iran is by force or by defending Iraq or defending the Middle East or a regime change, or at least weakening the regime. I think these talks will be fruitless.
As we've mentioned here just a couple of minutes ago, there's a serious move to isolate Iran in the Middle East. The question is whether the Iranians will sustain an isolation, and can they play any cards in order to avoid this?
Oh, there's a big hole in this isolation effort. The hole is Iraq, because look, the Middle East or Arab countries are extending their hands to Iraq, trying to bring Iraq back to the Arab community and the Arab League and so forth. But at the same time, Iran is using Iraq as a backyard, as a breathing space, as a way to do all kind of illegal activities, such as hard currency, exporting, importing weapons, and even sending terror militias through Iraq, to Syria and to Lebanon, to destabilize the Middle East, and using Iraqi airspace even for transfer of weapons. So without a serious effort to siege Iraq from helping Iran or becoming the backer of Iran, Iran will continue to thrive and will continue to breathe through Iraq. And this big hole has to be faced with the reality. Wishes doesn't make things change. Reality and facing reality is what's needed. Again, Iraq is a backyard of Iran now, and without closing out this Swiss hole border between Iraq and Iran, Iran is not going to be choked enough or sieged enough to stop their behaviors.
So you're saying Iraq is the key, actually, to...
Iraq is, unfortunately and fortunately, Iraq is always a key in good and bad things. And today, Iran, through Iraq, was able to extend their hand of terror all the way to the Mediterranean. This never happened in the history of Iran, but the land bridge, which we have warned about several times that Iran is using through Iraq, is a key to stop Iran from sending their terror to Syria, to Lebanon, and to the borders of Israel and to the Mediterranean. And I don't think anybody is doing enough to stop that at this moment, other than the United States. They made some attacks on this militia and this land bridge, and so has Israel. But I think much more has to be done. The fear of the Arab countries that they don't want to siege Iraq by sieging Iran, but sometimes you have to take some tough decisions.
Mr. Kanbar, I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.